about that. We're going to talk about some protest news. We're going to discuss this costume and a whole bunch of other stuff, including a sneak peek at St. Hill in the United Kingdom. Hey, everybody. Welcome. I'm Natalie. This is Scientology Life After a Cult. I spent 35 years in this crazy cult and left with 3 generations of my family. Hey, everybody in the chat. Good to see you. Welcome, members. Thank you for being here. And huge thank you to the moderators today for helping out. Now, we have a lot of stuff to jump into, but first, let's talk a little bit about this costume. Now, it is not just any costume, okay? I want to see if you guys can really spot what I am. Obviously, I am a lion, but I am not just any lion. I am a specific lion. Let's see if you guys can guess in the chat. I'm going to check back with you guys in the chat. I am a very specific lion. See, maybe the pose might give it away. I don't know, but you guys are going to figure it out sooner than later. So let's everybody throw your guesses and stuff into the chat. I'm going to keep an eye on that. Hey, T, welcome. James Steele, good to see you. Everybody, the chat is flying by, but hello to everybody who's here. Tony, I see you. Amber, Vanessa, welcome. Violet, me and Taz and Tracy, I see all you guys there. Oh, Failed Pessimist is here, so we can finally get started. We can jump into it. I'm telling you, happy Halloween, everybody. Oh, and I got to turn the fan up. I got to turn up the menopause fan because this costume is hot. Let's see if I can make it through the whole recap in costume. All right, so Nisa, it is not the Cowardly Lion, but good guess, good guess, good guess. Okay, so first, let's talk about a little funny here, and that is Philip Jones here on YouTube. Philip and Willie Jones are 2 former Scientologists whose children have been in the Sea organization for practicing Scientology's harmful practice of disconnection. And Phil Jones is here on YouTube. He does great content explaining a lot about what Scientology is, in addition to sharing his own story. So check him out. I'm going to link everything down below right after we're done with this live stream. Just a Northern girl, not the MGM lion, not the MGM lion, but keep it coming, keep it coming. Check this out, you guys. This is on, again, from Philip Jones. Scientology is shrinking, at least in the number of members. Their bank account might still be growing due to their large donors and the constant push for money, but both the quantity of staff and the public is a sinking statistic. When Scientology has an event or big gathering, they will brag about their unprecedented expansion. It's all smoke and mirrors. The internet, with the numerous articles, protests, YouTube live streaming, and videos, has exposed Scientology for what it is: an abusive cult. And then he's got this graphic here. That would be Scientology leader David Miscavige. Scientology is entering a whole new era of expansion as the ship is sinking. I thought, Phil, that is such a great representation of what is going on, because it's like Scientology has been contracting for quite some time. Now, where they do rock, if you want to call it that in that way, is fleecing their members of money to buy buildings and build up their real estate portfolio. So they've got, the money thing. They got the money thing down. All right. So that's, I thought that was hilarious what Phil did. Now let's take a look. Speaking of hilarious, you guys know how Scientology loves to do their propaganda press releases. And I got to admit it, I get a kick out of them. I really do. And I like to share them with you guys because we like to see, what are they pushing? What are they promoting? What do they want people to see? What are they trying to distract from? Oh my gosh, I'm getting lion hair in my eye. I'm like a hot mess lion over here. Let's like open up the lion, open that. So I don't get might have to trim that before the end of the day. Okay, so let's take a look at a recent press release from Scientology. And I know it's going to shock you guys to hear, but they did a press release about helping neighbors recover from back-to-back hurricanes. As you guys know, there were those 2 hurricanes in Florida not that long ago recently. And I've been waiting for this. I'm like, why are they taking so long to get out their press release about how they helped all kinds of people during this hurricane? Well, it is out. And it is uninspiring. Hundreds of Scientology volunteer ministers responded to help Pinellas County neighbors cope with the aftermath of hurricanes Helene and Milton. Now look at this. This is what kills me. Here's the picture. Here's the picture. Scientology volunteer ministers. All of these people were, over there in Florida. I don't know. Is that even in Florida? In Clearwater? Can anybody recognize that? I don't know. I don't know the area well. You tell me. I'll have to show that to Aaron at Growing Up in Scientology or one of the other people there in Clearwater and see if they recognize. And I don't know. I feel like nobody really saw all these people out there. And there were a few live streamers who went to the volunteer minister area and nobody was to be found. So they talk about the damage, the hurricane, the winds, but the volunteers in their bright yellow t-shirts canvassing neighborhoods to help were a welcome sight. And then they share a couple success stories where they claim that they spoke to residents who felt overwhelmed and had simply given up. So they go into that and talk about, which I'm always wondering, like, really, did you actually talk to anybody? Do we believe this? I don't know, but it's their press release, so they can just say whatever. Their motto is no matter their circumstance, something can be done about it. That's the volunteer minister's motto. That's why it's on their tents, on everything. Something can be done about it. Apparently, a touch assist or a nerve assist on a massage table is the thing that they can do about it. That seems to be it. Forget the fact that, I don't know, maybe people need battery packs or generators and blah, 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 and all the things, water, food, shelter. You know what I'm saying? Shelter, just simple things like that. Simple things where basic necessities and needs. But let's show up with a bunch of, I don't know, hand out some Way to Happiness booklets because, yeah. No, as per usual, that's usually what they do. So that's your Scientology propaganda for the day. Now, let's talk about this David Miscavige Hollywood takeover. As you guys know, David Miscavige is the current cult leader of Scientology. He has been the leader of Scientology longer than L. Ron Hubbard was. Now, this is important for you to understand. In the world of Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard is source. They call him source. They refer to him as source because all things come from L. Ron Hubbard. You're having problems with communication. What does L. Ron Hubbard say to do? Are you having trouble running your business? What does L. Ron Hubbard say to do? That is pretty much like what the Scientology point of view is. It's all about L. Ron Hubbard. Here's the thing though, David Miscavige, I've been waiting for this, honestly. I've been waiting for this because he's done it a little bit in really asserting himself as source, as the all-powerful Oz behind Scientology. They're going full-blown now, you guys. We're going to look at a few things. I'm going to show you. We're going to talk about it. Okay, so let's see. First, let's start with, do you guys remember Judy Norton from the Waltons? You guys remember the Waltons? I remember as a kid watching it some, but Judy Norton is an actress. She was in the Waltons. She was in other stuff too, but that's what I remember her from. So Scientology, this is actually, I think it's really funny. Scientology is putting out video after video of people singing the praises of David Miscavige as if he were L. Ron Hubbard. So they're now positioning David Miscavige as L. Ron Hubbard. It's all about him. He is so wonderful. The great work that he is doing. We're going to look at a few things that show that. And let me tell you, I'm going to show this to you and we're going to talk about why they're doing it. We are. Okay, so let's look at a little bit of this video by Judy Norton singing the praises of her cult leader.
He has a presence regardless of whether he is addressing all of the members of the church with information about our expansion or plans or successes in ways that we are aiding different individuals in the world, whether it's disaster relief and our volunteer minister program or whether.
So she basically goes on and on and on about David Miscavige and, blah, blah, blah. He's so fantastic. He's so wonderful. There are so many videos. Let me show this to you guys. For a man who, people claim, and even in Judy Norton's video, he's She goes on to talk about how, he's like, he doesn't want to be the center of attention. It's not about him. It's about the people. It's not about making him the center of attention. Really? Because I don't know. We're going to look at some stuff that really seems to me like dude is trying to be the center of attention and the new L. Ron Hubbard. So there is a YouTube channel here, David Miscavige. I think there's like 35 subscribers right now, but look at this. Every 2 days recently, Scientology is releasing a video about how amazing David Miscavige is. We got this girl, Shannon. By the way, this girl, Shannon, she did a hate video about Leah Remini on Leah Remini's hate site. So girl, she's getting around. That's all I know is she does a hate video on Leah Remini. Now this video is out where she's like, oh, David Miscavige hangs the moon. He's so amazing. But look at this. This guy, every 2 days, they've started doing this. And they're all about how amazing and generous and benevolent David Miscavige is. Why do you think they're doing this, especially right now? I'm going to tell you. So we've got this YouTube channel for David Miscavige here, and I'm going to link all this stuff down below after this video. So if you want to go see and check it out, and, I don't know if they have comments open or not, but check this out too. I'm going to show you something else. For a man who doesn't want to be the center of attention, for a man who's more concerned with his staff and other people, he got a YouTube channel now. This is his Facebook page, David Miscavige, Scientology's ecclesiastical leader. And these videos, again, are being shared here too when you scroll down and look at this whole thing. So we've got he's got this YouTube channel now with all these videos about how amazing he is. We got the Facebook page. There's a website dedicated to sharing how amazing David Miscavige is. Here it is. Here it is right there. When you look at this, it's hard not to want to vomit in your mouth a little bit. Here, David Miscavige, honored by Colombian National Police for humanitarian contributions. Okay. You got your L. Ron Hubbard quotes on there. More videos. People who know David Miscavige. These are the same videos that they're putting on YouTube. His accomplishments about David Miscavige. More photos and stuff like that. What does this tell us, boys and girls? Let me tell you. And if you are a live streamer or somebody protesting Scientology, listen up. David Miscavige is incredibly concerned right now about his image and what people think about him. He is. They wouldn't be doing this otherwise. All of this stuff they're putting out, right? It isn't even so much about Scientology. It's about him. So if he's making people put out this level of propaganda about him, that tells us he is worried that more people are going to learn the truth. I'm going to give you a little example. On the thumbnail, I shared a quote. And that quote is from Mike Rinder's book, A Billion Years, My Escape from a Life in the Highest Ranks of Scientology. I'm going to read you something, a little reminder. This is what David Miscavige is trying to detract from. So Mike's talking about, this interaction with Miscavige. No matter how you responded, you would be berated. If I said, yes, sir, that would result in, that's all you have to say for yourself. If I disputed anything, heaven forbid, Miscavige would say, you see, this guy wants to fight me and make me wrong. It's his unhandled evil purposes on display. Remember, this is the leader of this alleged supposed religion, okay? Yeah, fastest growing religion, if you ask Scientology, millions of members, but there's probably 20, 30,000 members. There's more ex-former Scientologists than Scientologists. So he goes on to say, and I apologize for would elicit, apologize. I don't want your effing apology. But he says the full word. I want you to do it right, you piece of shit. The no-win responses were endless. This is not the only book or account about this behavior by David Miscavige, and it's been out on the internet for quite some time. Multiple people have left and written books. But the fact that they're doing all of this stuff right now with these videos about how great David Miscavige is means they're worried. It means that Scientologists have been bringing it up. It's been filtering its way up lines to the office of David Miscavige that Scientologists are starting to be exposed to the truth about Scientology and David Miscavige. They start asking questions about David Miscavige. Scientology writes reports about it. It goes up the line, and the solution for what seems to be a public relations nightmare for David Miscavige is to create the website, the Facebook page, the YouTube page, and put out video after video after video about how amazing this man is. You see what's happening here? Hey, Rika, good to see you. So keep this in mind, especially if you are a live streamer or protesting Scientology. You might want to add the name David Miscavige to stuff that you're doing and saying, because it seems to be a button, as it would be called in Scientology. And in Scientology, when there's a button that elicits a reaction, you have to push it until it is flat and they no longer respond. This is all David Miscavige's reaction to the truth about him, not just Scientology, him coming out. And he can't stand that. My personal opinion is that he is much more concerned with his image than Scientology's, which I find very interesting. Very, very interesting. So keep that in mind, you guys. Keep that in mind. Okay, let's see. I'm going to go on. We're going to go look at the blue buildings and some weird stuff they have going on. But since we're going to the blue buildings, many of you have guessed what my costume is. And yes, I am the lion in front of the blue buildings. In front of the Advanced Organization of St. Hill, there is this horrific metallic lion that even Scientologists, dedicated Scientologists on their best day are like, that thing is creepy. I don't know what it is. I don't like it. There is a story that's been shared on the internet that David Miscavige himself was mortified, but he's the one, like he couldn't go back on it. This thing was already paid for. They wasted a bunch of money. The thing is a nightmare. So yes, I am the lion in front of the blue buildings. Hear me roar. Wow, wow. That's not very lion-like, but anyways, I'd like to think that I'm a better looking version of the Scientology lion, but here I am. I'm going to wear this too on werewolves tonight. I'm going to be on Kelly Copter's channel playing werewolves, 4 p.m. Central. You got to figure out what time that is in your time zone. And I will, of course, be attending as the lion, the metal lion. Rika says, my mom is going to cry when I tell her Mary Ellen is an F Sciento. Yes, I know. Roar. I'm a roaring today. That's right, David Bruce. I am the creepy lion of Scientology. Not only is this lion in front of the Advanced Organization of St. Hill on Hubbard Way, but this lion is pictured in countless Scientology propaganda. Oh my gosh, books, the tapes, course packs, the lion for when you're training as a Scientology auditor. So I really thought that Scientology would really appreciate the effort that I made today. I hope you guys did too with my costume. What do you guys, anybody else dressing up for Halloween? Drop it in the chat. What are you going to be? If you're on the replay, hit that like, hit subscribe, and drop in the chat there on the replay. Are you dressing up for Halloween? What are your plans? Are you handing out candy? I'm playing werewolves, and that's at 4 Central. So I don't know if I'm going to actually hand out candy because that seems like prime time. Maybe later. Oh my gosh, I need to get some candy. Ooh, I need to get my act together. Mama Opal's going to be a pickleball player. That's fitting. That fits. I can totally see that. Mary says the lion looks like it would hurt if you fell into it. Oh yeah, the lion at L1 Hubbard Way completely would cut somebody. And it looks like it's some kind of rusted metal. I'm like, you better have a tetanus shot before you get around that lion on L1 Hubbard Way. I'm telling you that. For sure. Hey, Scientology up north. Happy Halloween. I'm dressing up as the Scientology lion today. Helena, thank you. Looking fierce because I am a lion. All right, enough about me being a lion. Let's go to the blue buildings where the lion is. We're going to take a look at MD Media 18 and these tents and these fences going up outside the blue buildings.
Jaden! There's Jaden. I said his name earlier and he said hello. Sorry.
So they've got the big green barrier going around so that people cannot see and videotape the Scientologists that are going to show up for what is probably the International Association of Scientologists event this weekend. That's going to be happening at a lot of different Scientology organizations. The thing is, though, and again, that's MD Media 18. The thing is, it's quite a few tents. So there's chatter. I don't know if it's true. Some people are speculating that Winter Wonderland is going to move there, and that's all being put up to block because Scientology, there's two things they don't want people to see. One, they don't want people to see that nobody is going into these Scientology buildings and they're not busy and they're not flourishing and prospering. And the other thing they don't want people to see are Sea Org members. Sea Org members who have not been seen by their families, some for decades. They do not want that. I do believe that they are under strict orders to not be photographed or on camera. And that's why Sea Org members get so weird about it. And, I wish I could be a fly on the wall too, when it's like, the Office of Special Affairs. Oh, we should wake them up. The Office of Special Affairs, if you are new to my channel, that is the dirty branch of Scientology. They do like the stalking and the harassing, and they come here on YouTube and try to interject into people's chats and stuff like that and spread rumors and try to discredit anybody speaking out against Scientology. Hey, Feral Cheryl. This is David Miscavige, if you do not know. He likes to wake up his people. Office of Special Affairs. Happy Halloween, my lovelies. Here's the deal. Your blue buildings, you cannot hide. You can put up all the green fences and stuff that you want. You can build tent after tent after tent. It doesn't matter. The truth is still coming out about Scientology. And I know. It's like Thursday and it's probably going to be a really busy day for you. And now you got to track all this bad press for Scientology, all the YouTube channels, all of the social media people are using to expose Scientology. It's tough. It makes your job very rough. But I just want to remind you, like I like to do, that if and when you want to leave Scientology, we will help you. Life on the outside is amazing. The freedom. If I want to read a book on a Tuesday afternoon, I can. If I want to go to a movie on the weekend, I can. If I want to spend time with my grandkids, I can. I have the freedom to do that, the freedom to choose. If I want to come on here on YouTube and talk about Scientology and even laugh about it and poke some fun at it, I get to. I get to do that. I get to freely communicate about it. And it is super healing to do that. It really is. I've been out of Scientology for 14 years, but my time on YouTube, I've been here since last December, has really, I feel, taken that healing to another level. And so much of that is you guys, so many of you never in Scientology, but all in on ending this cult are a huge part of that. Okay, let's see. Jay Brimble, are they covering it over? Haven't they heard of those cameras you can fly in the sky? Just asking for a friend. Are they covering the top? I doubt it. I mean, that would be, they're the tents, they're in the tents. And, it just adds to the weirdness. It's like when you hide behind fences and you do that and you don't let your people, you make them so paranoid about being seen that's culty. It's just culty. It is. Why not just let people see their families? Let them call their families. But that's a huge part of it because Scientology is a cult and you have to control the people. And the way they control the people is to get the people to control themselves. It's the mind control. It's putting on the blinders. Hey, Simon, what was membership at the peak and what do you estimate it is now? Oh, that's a great question. Well, we estimate now that it's 20 to 30,000. Some sometimes say 40. At its peak, I don't know. Any of you old timers, former Scientologists in the chat, can you jump in on that? I only knew what they claimed when I was a Scientologist, and it was millions of members. So we know it's not that. We definitely know it's not that. Yeah, no. But I don't know. We'll have to see. Hopefully somebody will have some flying cameras and, we can see. We can see what's happening, though we can pretty much guess what's happening. All right. So now let's go over to Dan Walks LA, who dropped a new single, Going Clear. I love this so much. Hey, Becky, good to see you. Scooter Mom, how's Toronto? I think for today, you should be called Natalie. I like that. Today, I shall be known as Natalie, the artist formerly known as Scientology Life After a Cult. Thanks for the reminder, Helena. Everybody make sure you go hit that like button. Show that like button a little rawr. When you hit the like, you got to say it. Rawr. Okay, so back to Dan Walks LA and this single. I just love this. I could not get enough of Dan Walks LA's creativity.
I just realized that I've been locking up my own reactive mind.
And that there is Fluffer Squirrel, and I do believe that's Rika, and I am loving this.
But not anymore. And I'm feeling quite sure that I'll be good for life. I just realized that my reactive mind was mocked up by me. But please.
Anyways, you can check out the whole thing. I'm going to link it down below. Dan Walks LA has like, this guy's like dropping music left and right, and I'm liking it. Scientology Up North says, I love this. Yeah, right? I think that was Rika. Rika, if you're still here in the chat, you look fabulous. I love the fun. Florence says, love his creativity. Absolutely. Absolutely. Just a Northern Girl. Aaron said that he has it on good authority that there are a lot fewer members than he thought. He said it was going to run the numbers again. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. Oh, my lion is getting a little lion again. Getting in my face. Okay, so, I mean, I just love it so much. Helena, I love that. Thank you for the super sticker. Roar. And if you're just jumping in, I am the Scientology lion on Hubbard Way that is also on the cover of many of their course packs. And any of my under the radar friends, you recognize me. You know what this is. And if you're new to my channel, people, when we say under the radar, those are Scientologists who watch my channel and others here on SBTV who want to leave, but because of familial relationships or even their job, they cannot actually leave yet. But they're working on it, and there are many. That's right, Tony. Tame the mane. Oh, gosh, you guys just crack me up. Okay, so Dan Walks LA was outside one of the Scientology buildings doing his thing. Let's take a look at what he saw.
In case you didn't hear it, I've been mocking up my own reactive mind, and I'm not doing it anymore. You don't have to either. It's okay to leave Scientology. Oh, I see a peeper. Hey, girl. Oh, she went away. Damn it. That's all right.
You can see the blind there. Somebody was out there looking.
I saw you, girl. It's okay to leave Scientology. Your family misses you.
Amen to that. It is okay to leave Scientology. This is something that, in fact, last time I was on Growing Up in Scientology, we had a discussion around what impacts a Scientologist. And my point of view, we actually had different point of views on this. And I think I spent more time in Scientology having doubts than being a hardcore member, where Aaron at Growing Up in Scientology, once he realized like, whoa, operating Thetan levels 9 and 10 don't exist. And those are like the top of Scientology's bridge to total freedom. And they don't exist. And that is the carrot being put out for Scientologists, that he was like done at that point. He was just done. For me, it was a slower process. So for me to hear as a Scientologist, your doubts are valid or it's okay to leave, for me, that would have impacted me. For a hardcore 100% blinders on Scientologist, probably not so much. But there are many who have doubts. I know this because when I was a Scientologist, many of even the best Scientologists had doubts, concerns, and questions. And do you know what a lot of those doubts, concerns, and questions were about? It was about the Ideal Org program. It was about this program David Miscavige came up with. What are we, 15, 20 years in now? To get Scientology members to pay, to donate money, to overextend themselves and buy these buildings and build up Scientology's real estate portfolio. Craziness, I say. Craziness. Yep, Mary, that means she probably did hear. I think so too. And Scientology does not want their members, especially their Sea Org members, hearing these things. And I'm telling you, Sea Org members have doubts. You don't join the Sea Org. Well, let me preface this. This is my opinion. There are two kinds of Scientologists. Obviously, there are probably more because there's all kinds of different kinds of people. But my point of view is there are two types of Scientologists. You have the everyday Scientologist who joined, who wants to make a difference in the world, who believes that Scientology, that the propaganda they're showed about helping people in all these different places is actually true. And they want to support that because they want to change the world. They want to make it better. But their willingness to help has been hijacked by a cult, and they're not allowed to look and see or look at anything. And it is a process of becoming a cult member, and those blinders become thicker and thicker and stronger and stronger. The other type of person in Scientology, which is more the minority, bluntly, are the assholes. These are people that whether they were in Scientology or not, they would be abusive. They would be perpetuating abusive practices. Personally, I actually think that's what Tom Cruise falls into. That's just my opinion, though. You didn't hear it here. And so when those messages are delivered and the protest signs and they see these things, and Scientologists who come across our content, many of them have doubts. So for many of them, it is, in my opinion, it's going to make an impact. And something like your doubts are valid and it's okay to leave are huge, because you're told and indoctrinated you're not allowed to leave. You're not. And if you are allowed to, you have to be allowed to leave. One right there. That's the biggest BS thing in the world. Why do we have to be allowed to leave Scientology? Why do we have to be allowed to leave the blue buildings? When I was a Sea Org member there, you could only go so far around the blue buildings, and you needed permission to go beyond that, or someone else had to go with you. And trust me, it wasn't for your safety. That's not why. It was to make sure you didn't blow. They did the buddy system to keep Sea Org members together, to make sure nobody takes off. Well, joke's on you, Scientology, because some of them blew together. You want your buddy, your watch buddy, to be somebody who might also blow Scientology with you. And it does happen, mainly with couples, though, mainly with couples. Did I see Vanessa there? Hey, Vanessa Winbury, welcome, welcome. For those that did not catch it, Vanessa Winbury did an amazing interview on growing up in Scientology the other day, sharing her story. Vanessa, amazing. I thought it was fantastic. Thank you so much for coming forward and sharing that and doing it in such a public way. I know how hard that is, but thank you, truly. Everybody give Vanessa some love, because that takes guts to do that, and to step forward, and then to be in that space afterwards, to fight against the mind control of Scientology and the fear that they try to make you feel like something's going to happen if you speak out or you read the upper levels. It's all BS. Nothing's going to happen. You're not going to read the upper confidential levels in Scientology and get pneumonia and die like they tell you. Otherwise, everybody who saw South Park, like there would have been an issue way back then. Dory, thank you. Vanessa showed such bravery and confidence. Thank you. Yes. Yep, she did. I love it. I love the love you guys are showing her. Thank you so much for that. There have been many members, and you guys get to know them in the chat. Amber Vanessa, Jess, LaBarber. Sorry, Jess, I always mix up your last name. But many who are here who shared their stories, and many who haven't. And whether you do or not, I always like to say, like, you don't, especially when you first leave Scientology, take care of you first. Unless you feel very driven. I shared a big part of my story as soon as I left Scientology. Why? Because they wouldn't lay off my child. That's why. They were trying to get my daughter, who had turned 18, to move out so she could stay and join Scientology. So I had to go public with it. I just wanted to leave with my family, my 3 generations of my family, and mind my own business. Scientology couldn't have it. So, you mess with the bull, you get the horns. Speaking of the horns, we're going to get to some horns. But before we do, I got another clip here from Dan Walks LA. This was kind of funny and weird. This is outside a Scientology building, okay? And I think it's one that belonged to Author Services, which is real high muckety muck in Scientology, which make this even more weird. Dusty, happy Halloween from Coldwater. Thanks for being here, Dusty. Yep. Okay, so anyways, let's get to this clip here. Take a look.
Oh, wow. Look at this. Somebody was having a party, little Davy. There's still wine in that. That is basically a full bottle of wine. Just sitting in the driveway. That is alcohol abuse.
That was so weird to see that there. And yeah, it's definitely wasteful. Like, who would just leave a bottle like that? Put it in the fridge. It wasn't even like all gone. But it was so strange to be outside of a Scientology, not just a Scientology building, but, and one author services. I mean, that's like not your random Scientology place. It's just weird. It's weird. I thought it was funny. And I like that. I like that he shared that. All right, now, speaking of the horns, let's go take a look in and let's check in with Tory Magoo 44. If you don't know, Tory has been speaking out against Scientology for like over 20 years, okay? She has so much content on her channel over the years. She recently came back to YouTube and became active in the Los Angeles protest movement. She's been live streaming outside of Big Blue. So, of course, Scientology is going to go at her, right? They're just going to go at her because that's what they do, or at least they're going to try. But it's like Scientology, you guys have known Tory for a really long time. So you got to know that these things aren't going to work. So there is a new in Scientology, it's called fair game, where they basically try to discredit people who are critics of Scientology by spreading lies and rumors about them to create doubts in the minds of people so that they don't want to believe the truth about what former members are saying about Scientology. That is a tactic that L. Ron Hubbard came up with, codified, wrote countless policies about it, especially for the Office of Special Affairs. You still there, you guys? Did you fall back asleep? You got to stay up. I know it's Thursday and you're going to be working hard. Side note, by the way, you guys, I got my garbage out on time today. If you've been following my channel, oh my gosh, I had like 2 weeks of forgetting to bring it out on the right day or having to chase the garbage truck down the street in my robe. I got it out yesterday and they came to pick it up today and I heard the truck go by and I was like, oh, patting myself on the shoulder. Way to adult, Natalie. I'm taking the win. I got the garbage out. Yeah. That's right, Mama Opal. Osa, osa, osa. Wake up. Yeah, thank you, Mar. Thank you. Woot for the garbage. I'm taking the win. I'm taking the win. I'm figuring out my life. If you're new to my channel, I lost my partner 4.5 months ago. He passed away after a 2.5 year battle with cancer. And I've been figuring out just like some of the littlest things that have all fallen apart in ways. But as I put it back together and as I figure out how to live without him, I'm taking the small wins. I learned that in some of the books I'm reading and a Whittles group that I'm in. You got to just take the win on the things that you get done and not beat yourself out about the other stuff. See, look at this. Even T, I got my garbage out tonight. They haven't collected for 3 weeks. I hope they collect it in the morning. Why didn't they collect for 3 weeks? She's in Australia. Is this an Australia thing? Rain virus. That's huge. Remembering the garbage is a win. Thank you. I know for many it might sound like, what's the big deal? It is a huge deal. I had to take garbage in the back of my car to a dumpster at my office because it wasn't picked up at home. And putting garbage in the back of your car, especially when it's warm out, is not the smartest thing I learned. Because what happened was I put the garbage bags in the back of my car. What happened? Flies. I didn't even see the flies when I picked up the garbage. So I'm driving for 15 minutes with a car full of flies and garbage. I've got the windows open. I'm trying to get them to fly out. Bugs are going by. I'm so grossed out, I can hardly stand it. But I did it. I made it to the dumpster and I emptied the garbage. So this is a huge improvement over that. So I'm taking the win. You're right, T. Adulting sucks. It can. But I'm figuring it out. One thing at a time. I am figuring it out. Yep. Bless Tony. Thank you, Aaron. All right. So where am I at here? I'm going to catch up on I'm catching up on the chat. Hey, the Holy Rogue. Good to see you. And thank you. Thank you for the acknowledgement. I'm telling you, it's these little things that really, I feel like I'm feeling it's helping me. It's helping me figure things out. I can do this. I can adult. I can take care of myself. I can do it. I have to say that over and over and over again. Okay, so back to Tory Magoo. Let's take a look at a clip from this video, and then we shall chat about it.
They're basically going, oh, poor Tory, she's so old.
And these are the lines that the Office of Special Affairs are perpetuating about her on different platforms to try and discredit her.
She should just stay at home and be quiet and sleep. And, it's just another one of those stupid programs to try to shut down my YouTube site. And I'm just telling people, if you hear it, just tell people, no, she's fine. I talked to her the other night. Go watch her YouTube site. It's nuts that OSA thinks going after you will bother you. I know. That is such a good point. Thank you. Because it's like, hello, you've only been doing this for 24 years, and I always do this. You attack me, and I make a video about it. I made that very clear when I started my YouTube site. I said, I'm from Chicago, and here's my policy. You screw me once, I'll screw you twice, every single time.
Tory is so badass. What is she? I think she's like 74, been battling Scientology for such a long time. Exposing. It's not, I don't even consider it a battle because they are bringing themselves down. Their continued cult behavior, we just need to expose it and keep showing it to the world and gaining more support to look into their tax exempt status, to raise awareness so new people don't join. And that is being done all over the world. Jersey Jan says, Tory sounds like a Jersey girl. She's from Chicago. But that's interesting about Jersey girls. I did not know that. They're trying to 5150 Tory. Yeah, could be. But the woman is sharp. And you're right. T, I love her. She doesn't take any You're right. She does not. No, she's 77? I don't know why I thought she was 74. That's amazing. Yep, Simon, she is a brave woman. She's been at this for a long time. And prior to becoming a critic of Scientology, she was out there handling protesters of Scientology. She was on the other side and she crossed the line. Lost her husband in the process. She hasn't spoken to him in over 20 years because he's still in Scientology and won't speak to her. Rain Virus, Tory is the Betty White of ex-Scientologists. Ah, mic drop. Yes, she really is. I didn't think about it like that. I love that. That's fantastic. Oh, that's hilarious. And she's sitting out front of Big Blue live streaming and exposing Scientology. She's doing videos at home. She's like talking to people. It's fantastic. That's right, Simon, his loss. She's a firecracker. I really like Tory. Okay, let's get a little bit of an update on Boobgate from Nance Drew. If you are not aware, she is in Chicago, a Scientology protester, and there was an incident where she was, doing some chalk art out front of Chicago Scientology staff member comes up and allegedly her boob brushed him, allegedly. And of course, they're pressing charges, and it's absolutely ridiculous and insane. And it's all being done to try to stop Nance Drew from protesting Scientology. So she has been dealing with this ridiculous court battle for quite some time, and she's still in the thick of it. She did an update. We're going to take a look at that. Let's take a little look at a clip from her video doing the update.
And here's another kicker that kind of puts more of a time limit on things that are going on. The current state attorney that is communicating and trying to make a plea deal with my lawyer is leaving this courthouse in 2 weeks. So within the 2 weeks, I need to decide before everything gets restarted again, which is the last thing I want if I were to take a plea, like, and start up with a new state's attorney that is on the lead. They rotate through, but this one guy has been the lead on this.
It seems that my takeaway too from her video is she's making a decision on whether or not to take the plea or proceed to trial. And there are many variables in that. I'm going to link the whole video down below so you can go watch it and get the full update from Nance herself. Just a tough situation and so ridiculous. And shame on you, Scientology. Shame on you. This is so embarrassing for Scientology. You're taking a woman who, by the way, works in the mental health field and helps all kinds of people who do not have a voice, who lack advocates. That is what she does in her job, what she's doing. And you are going to drag through the mud and try to make the life difficult of somebody like that because she decided to stand up and say something about the abuses of Scientology. And in the stupidest way. It's so ridiculous. I don't got to tell you guys know it's so dumb. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. You should be embarrassed, Scientology. Office of Special Affairs, you should be embarrassed about this. You should. I'm embarrassed for you. As a former Scientologist, I'm embarrassed. You guys are just embarrassing. Charlie says her boob would never have touched them if they were not so invasively close. Yeah, they do. That's, a lot of recommendations. Scientology Audit, Streets LA, William Gude, the Gude father, says you got to back up. I mean, it's a lot of live and learn. But at the end of the day, it's like these are Scientology tactics to try to trap, intimidate, and harass people who dare to go, you know what? This is an abusive human trafficking cult, and I'm going to let people know about it. Your tactics don't work, Scientology. It's not going to work. You might think you can keep Nance Drew away from there for now, but there's going to be many more like her. This whole exposing Scientology, people are finding out, and they're joining in, and they want to join in. Holy Rogue says, wow, I did not know that about Nance. She's an angel. Yeah. Check out her video. Buckled Up Buttercup. It's embarrassing for the state's attorney too. Right? It really is. It really is. Simon, we'll see you later. Hope you come back. I think Simon came over from Guitar Stuff Studio. I think I remember his name from when we did a live stream together the other day, talking about that Stephen Ridley and his whole scam. Yeah, that's right, Susan. Good grandma. We are good grandmas. We are good grandmas. Okay, so let's see. We did Nance's court update. Okay, you guys, we're going to look at something that not many people get to see. So in the UK is St. Hill, and you guys have probably heard of it because Apostate Alex, the SP chef, and a bunch of other people did a 3-day protest last weekend during the International Association of Scientologists. I can't remember if St. Hill has a lion, but it's the St. Hill Special Briefing Course, I think, that has the lion on the front, which is why they put that horrific metal lion on L1 Hubbard Way, because that building it's in front of, that is where the St. Hill Special Briefing Course is delivered. And that's where you become a Scientology auditor, highly trained for public. So the original was delivered at St. Hill in the UK. So St. Hill, in a way, it has a lot of nostalgia for Scientologists because that's where, at least, you know what, Scientologists who've been around a long time, more newer, there's hardly any new Scientologists, but many of them don't hear as much about St. Hill because David Miscavige is all, IDA.org, give us your money. We're going to build big buildings. Yeah. If we build it, they will come. Nobody comes. Nobody shows up. It's like a middle school, you ever been in like middle school or early high school, you have a birthday party and then you're mortified because nobody comes. That's what it's like. That's what it's like for Scientology. I'm not speaking from experience. Maybe one time when I was 13 and only 2 people came. Yeah. Oh, yes, Rain Virus. Those sculptures are so bad. They are. They are. They really are. Okay, so anyways, St. Hill in England, it's got like this castle. And if you were watching the protests, you would see that they were outside on the street, right? And behind the fence was St. Hill. Well, somebody got in. Somebody got in. Okay, SP Crusader Lenny says St. Hill has 2 lions. Oh, that's funny. Natalie, your costume is more realistic than those statues. So true. So true. Aw, you make me blush. Marcy, thank you so much for becoming a member of the channel. I appreciate that. Hip, hip, hooray. Oh. Much aloha to you. And if anybody else is interested in being a member, there's a link down below in the description or on my channel. You can just click on where it says join. I do a weekly members only live chat. And we're doing it right now. We've been doing it on Tuesdays, but it'll be Tuesday or Wednesday, late afternoon, early evening. And we talk about all kinds of things. It's a time to just be a little bit more laid back where I can answer questions from you guys more, talk about the crazy, like what I'm going through. I do a lot of crying, so be fair warned. Be fair warned. MD Media, late all happy Halloween. Have a wonderful, I'm going to assume that ends with Halloween or day. Yeah, MD Media, we just looked at your clip from Big Blue. So let's look at the St. Hill thing because many people don't get to see behind the fence. Now, one time when I was in Scientology, I did go to England and I did go to St. Hill to visit. I got a tour of L. Ron Hubbard's home. I was actually looking for a friend of mine and couldn't find him. And he was the commanding officer at the time. So you'd think it would be easy, but I found out later I couldn't find him because he was leaving the Sea Org. So they had him hidden away and they wouldn't let me see him. Must have really freaked them out when I showed up because I didn't know. I was a Scientologist in good standing at the time. I didn't know. He was my childhood friend from Hawaii. I didn't know he was leaving. So I show up to St. Hill. I'm like, hey, have you guys seen Bruce? I'm here to see him and say hello. Meanwhile, he's routing out of the Sea Organization. They must have freaked out and thinking I somehow knew. Hey, Reese, good to see you. Natalie, you look so adorable, babe. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween to you too. Reese, I'm the lion outside of Asho at the Blue Buildings. And the lion on, all the training stuff. Marcy, making it rain. Thank you for gifting 5 Scientology Life After Occult memberships. Anybody in the chat who ends up getting one of those, please show Marcy some love, some aloha, some mahalo. Thank you so much for that. That is awesome. Oh, good. I see some of you are getting them in the chat. That's fantastic. That's right, Rain Virus. Reese calls them the hot sauce packets. I love that. I love it. Okay, so let's see. Oh yeah, St. Hill. I'm so distracted by the whole lion thing in my costume. Let's go to St. Hill. There's somebody who made it. I don't know how this person got in there. DJN Media. But look at this. This is St. Hill, where L. Ron Hubbard was, running Scientology back in the day. Delivering the St. Hill special briefing course. Dude is just walking around like nothing. I'm surprised he actually was there for as long as he was. Honestly, it really was like, I was so surprised. There's one of the sculptures, although that one's not so bad. I got to say this, you guys. One thing about Scientology, they do pretty good on the landscaping. Now, granted, they use slave labor to do it, which is a bummer, but L. Ron Hubbard said, the public will know us by our mess, and that's matter, energy, space, and time. It's physical things. It's your physical property. It's your stuff. And look at this. He's just walking around like nothing. People just walking by. I'm just amazed. I know, T, I can't believe that he didn't get kicked out. So I'm going to link that video down below so you can see the whole thing because it goes on, you guys. It goes on. Oops. Hold on a second. It goes on. I was so amazed. I was like, he's just walking around like nothing and just showing it. But it is neat to see, especially if you've never seen it before. Thank you, Susan, for the reminder. Let's hula over to the like button, people. Come on. I know you're here. Show it some aloha. Okay, let's see here. SP Crusader. I knew Bruce and his dad from St. Hill. Oh, I never met his dad, but we grew up together somewhat in Hawaii. His mom was a staff member. I actually was recruited by Bruce to join staff, him and his senior, who was this older dude whose name escapes me, but he was in charge of recruitment because I was to replace Bruce so that he could go into the Sea organization, which was a bummer because he had been like my best friend for a couple of years. We would hang out, we would go to movies. I remember when Top Gun came out. He calls me up. This is back in the day of the landline. I'm like, hello, I'm so tired because I was probably sleeping because, I was like 13, stayed up too late. He's like, let's go see Top Gun. And I'm like, no, man, I'm like tired. He's like, get on the bus. Let's go see Top Gun. Because I would take the bus everywhere when I lived in Hawaii. And we went and we saw Top Gun. But he ended up being recruited into the Sea Org. And then I would follow a few years later when I was a Scientology staff member in Hawaii. And I would go back and forth because I would be training in Los Angeles. I go back to Hawaii. I go back to Los Angeles for something, go back to Hawaii. During that time, my mom had moved to Los Angeles and my sister had gone into the Sea organization. So I eventually was like, well, I don't really have a place to live in Hawaii on account of my mom's not there. And my stepdad, grandpa dad is unstable, to put it lightly. And if you guys know, my mom was married to my stepdad who got her into Scientology when I was 5. Several years later, she divorced him and married his dad, who I refer to as grandpa dad, because it's just easier to keep it straight. Because, grandpa dads are a thing, right? Doesn't that happen like all the time where your mom marries your grandpa? Lenny says, I liked Bruce and he just disappeared. His dad was a lovely man. I didn't know his dad. I didn't even know. I don't think his dad was his dad in Scientology. Oh, it was such a long time ago. I can't remember. Yeah. Well, he's out now. Well, has been for a long time. Okay. So let's see. What was I doing? Oh yeah. Here, I was grabbing this question here. Let's see. Linda Lou says 3 adults in our home and not uncommon to forget to take out the garbage. Thank you for helping me feel like not such a hot mess for not getting out my garbage like that. Lenny says 2 lions either side of the main door. That's in St. Hill. I should go relook at that video and see if if you can see it there. That's crazy. But yeah, I am the lion. If you're just jumping in, I am the Scientology lion at the Blue Buildings and apparently also at St. Hill. Mena says, put a reminder in your phone for things like taking out the garbage. Changed my life. I did. It's Alexa. So I have Alexa reminding me. I did before, but I somehow accidentally deleted it. It was just like weird. Let's see. Oh, here's a question from Simon. What was it like readjusting to real life? Well, I'm still doing it 14 years later. It's a trip. I will say that. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. It's scary. It's weird. But it's fantastic. And still, I was in Scientology for 35 years in the most formative years of my life. So there's a lot, even though I've come a long way in my recovery and healing, there's still things I'm learning. I'm an incredibly imperfect human. And yeah, learning so much. I'm continuing to adjust, I guess is my answer to that. All right, let's see. Mama Opal, that's hilarious. Wait a minute. Natalie got her haircut yesterday. Is this a costume for Halloween or a cover up for a bad haircut? No, my haircut is fabulous. And mostly, I do my cut and color, got to cover those grays. No, the hair is on point. It was almost a shame to wear this costume today. That's how on point the hair was. It's having a good hair day, and this costume is probably going to mess it up. Let's see. Cats, bats, and flowers. Had to look up the lion. My phone provider refused access. Harmful content. That's weird. That's strange. Simon says, I dated a lass who went to the Scientology school in East Grinstead. Ooh, tea. Would that have been possible for non-member? And did St. Hill have a different name? St. Hill did not have a different name, but there was a school. Oh gosh, what was the name of the school? Do you guys remember? SP Chef, I thought, went there too. What was the name of the school? It is possible for a non-Scientologist to have gone. I've known of non-Scientologists going to schools here in the United States. So maybe. Maybe I feel like, you know what? Everybody's money is green. They'll take it. If they can get the money, they will take it. Let's see. I'm catching up here. James Still, he's always good for a couple jokes in the chat. Does anyone else struggle to swallow tablets? Only happens when I'm in an Apple store. Lisa O is sharing that Judy Norton posed for Playboy years ago. That's interesting. I wonder how Scientology felt about that. I mean, my gosh, when I was a Scientologist, I took a strip fitness class. Nobody was taking off clothes. It was exercise on a pole. It was women only. And I got written up for it. I got reports written on me for it. They got sent to my daughter in Clearwater. She was pulled into a room and confronted with the fact that her mother was doing strip fitness classes. Meanwhile, I'm finding out Judy Norton gets to go be in Playboy. Seriously, Scientology? What is up with the double standard there? What is up with that? Arkansas Flamingo says pajama pants and a dressy shirt to go as Natalie on the recap. I love it. Well, I'm wearing my lion today, but yes, half the time, this is probably not a secret to you guys by now, I'm wearing pajama pants. I dress from the waist up. Now, if I have somewhere to go right after the live stream, I have to get fully dressed and I put pants on. But most of the time, it's smoke and mirrors. It's the waist up. I'm wearing pajama bottoms. Why doesn't Davey say he heard something from LRH that changes source? Well, the day is young. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? He can make up whatever he wants and say that these were uncovered. This was found out. And that's what happens in Scientology. All these years, David Miscavige has been redoing the books and the lectures and making Scientologists buy things they already owned, saying, but we found out there were things missing. There were alterations in them that were not L. Ron Hubbard, and we fixed it, and you have to buy them again. It's all part of the scam. They're circling the toilet bowl, okay? So all they have left to do is to repackage existing things because there are no further levels. There is no operating Thetan 9 and 10. There is not. There is not. Kim is Blue says, I saw a few cult members in cult water in the yellow shirts with rakes near the post office post hurricane number 2. Awesome. That is good. If they are out there actually cleaning up and doing stuff, I mean, that is a good thing. That is what they should be doing. We need to see more of that Scientology and a little less of the harassing people who speak out about Scientology. Truly. Let's see. Casper says, boo, happy Halloween, everyone from your friendly ghost. Natalie, you look cute. Love it. Thank you. I got to tell you though, it's like irritating my nose. Like I'm allergic to my own lion. I think it's probably just dusty because I borrowed this from my sister. I pulled it out of a bin. I probably should have like thrown it in the dryer. There's this thing Tony used to do where there's a setting on the dryer where you can kind of disinfect something. I should have done that. I will do that after this, before Werewolves Today, 4 p.m. Central, by the way. I'll be on with Kelly Copter. Okay, let's see. It's a lot of your guesses here on what I am. We figured that out. I love it. Jill Anderson says, Menehune are the little folks of Hawaii who leave little rock walls and build things. Oh, somebody was asking, what is a Menehune? Yes, Menehune in Hawaii, and I was born and raised in Hawaii, for those who might not know. Menehune there is a whole legend behind it, that they are little people who were the original inhabitants of the islands. And when others came and became what's known as the Hawaiians, which would be my family, that they hung out, the Menehunes, that their spirits they're still there and they're very mischievous, that they go around and just kind of like play jokes on people and move things around. And you can even leave an offering for the Menehune in the hopes that they might leave you alone, if they're kind of having fun at your expense. But it's a whole thing. My mom and my stepdad, my first stepdad, who got my mom into Scientology, was also a Scientologist, but a paraplegic. And so his hands were curled, and he would make these Menehune footprints on the wall because the way his hand was, it like looked exactly like a footprint. He was an artist. He was a wood carver in Hawaii, one of the best, if not the best. Okay, I got caught up on those. I want to know too, like what you guys are going to be for Halloween today, if you're doing anything. Let's see. All right. Here's what's happening. I'm going to be around later today. I'm going to be on Kelly Copter. We are going to do werewolves. And if you guys see something, say something, whether it's Scientology, culty thing you find interesting. If it's a video, please give me a timestamp, or if it's under a minute and you know how to do a clip, you can do a clip, but just send the link for the video, the timestamp, and tell me what it is I'm looking for. And we'll see if we can fit it into a recap. There's so much content out there that Scientology is Scientology related. It's hard to keep up on all of it. I am one person, and I am one person who's just trying to get her garbage out on time. You know what I'm saying? So help a girl out. Help a girl out. Tell me what you're seeing. Tell me what you're finding interesting about this, and email it Natalie@lifeafteraccult.com. Everybody get out there and have the most amazing Halloween cult-free day.